Howdy, howdy, everyone. We have returned.
We're expecting that we'll actually reach the Makise ending, or at least begin the Makise ending in this episode.
But you know us. What we expect and what we get isn't necessarily the same thing.
In a lot of ways, that also applies to this channel as a whole, doesn't it?
I wasn't trying to get all metaphysical here, man.
It's true. Steins Gate has far more metaphysics than quantum physics.
Speaking of more meta than quality, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
If you can decipher what that means, then please tell me.
And I'm We Squared.
All right, is there anything new in Chapter 9? Let's find out.
Okabe had just gotten back from finding out that Moeka had killed herself.
And he also just found that Nae had used a time leap machine.
And so that's where we are.
He's just time leapt to move earlier so he doesn't see Mayuri die again. We'll see what's different. There really have been several new Moeka scenes in this playthrough so far, so I'm wondering how much extra content there's going to be...
In Moeka's chapter?
Yeah, with Moeka herself.
I'm really curious.
Suddenly, the once empty room is full of familiar faces. Where is Moeka now? Should I try going to her apartment again? After all, is approaching. I feel kind of criminal doing that, you know?
You should.
I'm afraid that if I do meet her face to face, I might not be able to control myself.
Please ignore the context of their last meeting.
That woman killed Mayuri. This scene is exactly the same as the last one. I've seen the blood drain from her body. If I see Moeka, will I be able to contain my... I totally don't feel any rage right now. Let's try this again. Will I be able to contain my rage? We all know the answer to that. Of course not!
You're having far too much fun with that, Damon.
You don't have to say it like it's true. It doesn't matter. I can't run away. In order to save Mayuri, I must meet with Moeka.
And punch her in the face. Convergence demands it.
Derp? Oh well, we got to talk about beating up Moeka. That's better than nothing.
Damon, no.
Mushy.
And like 3 seconds later, Okabe has gotten to Moeka's apartment, and Kurisu just called him.
Yes.
And so that's where we're picking up.
I'm about to punch Moeka in the face.
What?
悪いが取り込み中だ。
I see. I mean, it's not wrong.
お前の発想は実にスイーツかっこ笑いだな。
Well, in this run it is.
Yeah, that was really it. Just jealousy.
Damon, what about the... You talk it up so much you don't even show it the second time around? I figured you'd make like a little montage, different angles with filters on it.
Well, maybe I will now. No, I'm not gonna do that! What, do you think I revel in beating up Moeka?
Sometimes it's hard to tell. Contact me, idiot! Is everything alright? What happened with that Kurisu lady? At least let me know if you're still alive! Don't say anything stupid like you're dead, okay? Aside from the obvious questions of how you're answering me if you're dead, I don't want to hear it. Please, just reply. Even an email would do. I'm so worried I can't even eat.
This is Kiryu Moeka! I have killed Okabe! Hoin Kyoma's head is now mine!
Okay, you're still alive. You should pick worried according to the guide. I'm worried too for Damon's mental health.
Don't worry. I won't die. Not until I've fulfilled my promise to go to Aomori with you. Then, after that, I shall die dramatically!
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Hey. Next time I really will send that Hoin Kyoma is mine, I have slain him mail.
Maybe this isn't what you want to hear, but I need you to listen. I don't care about Aomori anymore. I just want you to be safe, Okabe. When you ran out without saying anything yesterday, it felt like my heart was going to explode. So hurry back. Please, don't read too much into this message, Babaka.
I guess I better not tell you what's happened at the apartment so far then, huh?
Why is your lip bleeding?
How can you tell? Forget this, guys. I'm just gonna send the dang mail. Maybe it'll actually be slightly different.
Maybe?
Like
we'll find out.
Might be a little bit more of a scene or something. I take one last look at Moeka's body lying there. It's hard to think of this particularly seriously, considering that we just skipped through the entire chapter. Causality is a strange and terrifying thing.
Especially when it's not so well defined.
Moeka, if you're going to apologize for a sin you didn't commit, then I must apologize as well. I am responsible for twisting your fate. And for twisting the fate of Tennoji Nai. I ruined that innocent girl's life, made her something other than what she was meant to be. Is it okay to just leave her like this? Of course, if I send the D-mail now, this world line will be undone. I should just think about Mayuri. I shouldn't burden myself with any more problems. Give me about 10 minutes and I'll start to burden myself with a pretty huge problem, though. Is this really okay? Yep, sure is! Get out of here!
The votes are in!
The world warps. Everything was undone.
生きてる。
And it is a new scene.
And she didn't say something to him, instead she mailed him.
Well, of course.
It feels like forever since I've seen her lightning speed typing.
I don't need an IBM 5100 anymore. Moeka. I don't know why I signed it because you knew I was sending it to you.
This mail doesn't make sense. It reads like Moeka and I were discussing the 5100 just moments ago. Well, of course, that's exactly what happened on this world line.
必要ないとは。ジョージ FB か。
My supervisor told me to stop looking. I mean,
Don't type I mean ellipsis, ellipsis. Hey!
That'll end the conversation.
Well, this is your chance to, like, do something right by her. So FB's still alive. That's good, I think? For now, however, I'm more interested in what Moeka just said. FB canceled her mission to retrieve the IBN 5100?
任務達成はすなわち処分確定。扱いとしては犬っつうより家畜だな。
I recall his last words. Perhaps he canceled her mission so that they wouldn't be eliminated. It's probably only a matter of time before he gets found out, but...
私がこの手で殺してやるまで許さないから。
It's interesting how the scene you get for waiting on the D-mail is more focused on the immediate events.
Yeah.
I can't get that childish yet hate-filled voice out of my head. On that world line, I turned an innocent girl into a murderer. Whether it was my fault directly or not, it was still a result of my own choices. That world line has already been undone. But how will things turn out on this new world line? No, there's no point thinking about it. Not anymore. Not right now. Besides, things are gonna change again. This is still just a transient state. If everything works out, which I guess it won't, there won't be any more rounders. But that's not going to happen, so they'll still be there. I wonder if Moeka and Mr. Brown are going to be more prominent in this ending.
Maybe, but CERN, they don't stop CERN. CERN just doesn't take over the world. They've still got a database encoded in that, so the rounders should still exist. There's no reason to suspect that they don't. Because if CERN still is doing research, even if they don't succeed, then they're still encrypting their data using an old proprietary language that only the IBM 5100 can break.
No, you're absolutely right, but what we're going to be doing is not deleting that mail.
Correct? Which means the Rounders are still going to be around, because CERN takes over.
Yeah, and CERN's going to conquer the world, and within the next 20 years, all of Okabe's friends are going to die.
Yes.
I just want to point out that it's not that I don't sympathize here, but like if you don't find some way to deal with CERN, you're signing your own death warrant, the death warrant of the person you're choosing to be together with, the death warrant of the person you're sacrificing, which is a matter of course, but it still adds up, the death warrant of Daru,
and probably Ferris and Luca too, somehow. All the timey-wimey stuff seems to center around his friends, so I think it's safe to say they die somehow too.
Are a few years of lovey-loviness really worth killing all of your friends?
I'm so glad I saved you, Maki-say. Let's go out for a year and a half before CERN captures you and detains you for the rest of your life.
But then again, perhaps they will try to come up with a way. They've always been able to do something to come up with a way to change something, though that does seem to be like it would be starting on a whole new path of potentially really bad stuff. However, I suppose that's what the true end is all about.
I suppose so, yeah.
There's no point thinking about any of this, BSG. Shut up!
I disagree!
If the plan worked, the 5100 should already be back in my possession. And if that's the case...
then I don't have to punch her in the face.
Now, Billy...
I just wanted to rhyme.
As soon as I drop the... you immediately pick up the...
Are you trying to say that I'm not good enough to do the...
I was trying to let it go and move on.
Die!
And instead, you pick up right where I left off. Now I am forced to criticize you for adopting a position that earlier in the episode I had and you criticized me for. Truly the world is a mysterious place.
Let's just move on.
Well, there's no need to stay on this world line either. Literally immediately after Mayuri was run over to be useful to Okarin.
Where are you now? Where are you? You haven't been to the lab in 2 days. Are you still in Akihabara? We're worried, you know. You were acting strange yesterday, even though I say you haven't been in the lab in 2 days. I want to help, so tell me where you are. I don't feel right not having you around. Where are you? I want to see you. I'll give you 3 guesses what to respond with.
Goodness, she's gotten awfully forceful, hasn't she?
That's about fitting with their personality.
It really is.
Which I admire in a woman.
Let me be alone. I need to think. I don't think she'll send me anything for a while after seeing this. Makise Kurisu, of all people, is going to understand what it is that I'm talking about. Okabe hasn't told Mayuri anything.
That's true.
But he has... hasn't he talked to Kurisu?
I think this is it. Yeah.
めめしいな。はっきり言ってがっかり。
Right in the middle of a scene!
Oh yeah.
I'm actually surprised that more of the chapter isn't different, but there's gonna hit a point where it's gonna all be different.
It has to.
You can't have everything be the same but the last choice.
Come on.
But I'm not expecting that either. This is the scene where Kurisu was saying, I don't know if what you're telling me is true. I don't know if your perspective is the only perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Mayuri called, in the middle of it, this time, he did not answer.
Yeah,
and that is where we are.
お前は俺に殺されてもいいっていうのか？
今の私の話、聞いてなかったの？
聞いていたが。
An email interrupts me.
Doo-doo-doo. Mayushi here.
God dang it!
Hey, you skipped my line.
I forgot. Oh! It just displayed for a second, and then the skipping started.
No, it won't show the whole thing. You already passed it.
Oh, no. No. Huh! You think you can underestimate me? I keep backup saves! Besides, that was gonna be like this horrible, heart-wrenching email, and then the skip hit.
Right?
Like, what terrible timing.
As Mayushi was saying, my
あいつ
tuturoo.
何が重いんだよ
That was tuturude.
Oh, no, you don't! Oh, no, you don't! I want to have a heart-wrenching emotional moment, and I will not put up with your BS, game! The music's even still playing because the game's still running! What do you think about that? You've been owned, Steins Gate Elite! Seriously though, why would they just move it before you get a chance to read the email and then you can't even go back and look at it?
I don't understand either. Mayushi here! Hey, Okarin, is something bothering you? You've been looking kind of sad lately. Do you want to talk about it? Or is it something you can't tell Mayushi about? That would make me sad. If you feel like Mayushi's being a burden, then I want you to tell me, okay? Or maybe eavesdrop on a conversation I have with my dead grandmother.
Like after deliberately avoiding her phone call, and she's like, toot-toot-doo, hey, I care about you.
I know.
Don't make Mayushi sad, dang it. Then again, this is the route we're on. He's only gonna be making her sad.
Now you can continue, skip function, you impatient little so-and-so.
俺は諦めない絶対にだ
I suppose it mainly was just going to be the same up until he makes his decision. Well, so the big scene with Kurisu and the rain just happened, and with her sewing up his lab coat in the dark, and it's time to determine the future of the world.
このマザーバッカー
Oh!
My goodness!
Son of a bitch!
お前
私は大丈夫だって言ってんのに何が諦めないだバカなの死ぬの英雄気取りかこの中二病患者ができもしないくせにカッコつけてんじゃないあんたの頭の悪さにはイライラするなんで私の言うこと素直に聞き入れてくれないのよ
俺は
あんたがマユリを助けることが相対的に判断してベストなのよ一体何が気に入らないの
相対的判断などクソくらいだ
Basically, yeah.
俺は神じゃない気がついたらそれに等しい立場にいたけど全然違う誰を助けて誰を見殺しにするかなんて俺はもう決められない
Look, Steins Gate, not the game, the phrase that Okabe uses. It's the decisions you've made, the choices you've made, the results of your actions. Like he said, in this route, everyone has their own Steins Gate in their heart. Everyone has their own life they have to lead. Everyone has to make their own decisions. This ending, especially for a game about decisions, about the choices you make and the consequences of the choices you make, that you have to slay the beast of possibility, all of the possibilities of youth. Okay, cool. You have to kill it because you don't get all the possibilities. You only get the one. Throughout this game, like all the different chapters where he picks the different girls, at the time I maybe criticized it a bit and just chalked it up to the genre.
Yeah.
And actually I think most of them are pretty good.
I mean, visual novels are about picking all the different girls,
right.
to a degree.
To a degree. But in hindsight, I think that actually really works because it's like each of these is its own Steins Gate. Each of these is its own choice. These are all choices, lives that Okarin could live. These are things that could happen. And by choosing one of them, all the other choices vanish into the mists from whence they sprang. Because there is no perfect future. No one gets everything they want. Even if you actually wanted everything, you can't have it. That is the meaning of making all of these choices. To those who sacrifice nothing, nothing is what they will attain. And the only way to use Stein's gate, to open the gate of Stein, is to make those choices. To close the door on the other possibilities and accept that one possibility is the way that you must go. This cannot end with Okabe deciding that he can't make any decisions. Not in this game.
Right.
He's always been hesitant, it's true. And I really believe that that's actually what this game is about. Okabe isn't really an adult, but he's not really a child either.
He's in the middle.
He's graduated from high school anyway. That means that regardless of whether he's a minor or not, by no discernible metric is he a child.
Right.
He's actually attending college, and presumably that means he's making some decisions about his life. And I think it's important that a person in that position is the main character of a game about decisions. Mm-hmm. It's like all the different girls represent different paths that he can take through life.
Okay.
That's why they're so different. Look at his life with Suzuha.
Yeah,
his life with Faris.
That's why they're so drastically separate from each other.
Yes, drastically different. Well, I mean, I'm not like this now. How can either of us be? But the time for these choices, the time in Okabe's life is the time in which a decision like this would be made.
Yeah.
You know, for us, we're well past that point.
Unfortunately.
But of course, we've been through this.
Oh, yes, we have.
Everybody understands this. And I suppose being older means you understand even more deeply the impact of these choices, which is why we're throwing things at Okabe, trying to get him to make the right decision.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I think, even though we maybe have beaten him up for being too hesitant, that hesitation is what everybody his age is going to feel. The world that we live in today is full of so many more choices than it ever has been throughout any of human history, and it's overwhelming. It's terrifying. And that's the situation that he finds himself in, and that's why he's so hesitant, is because he's supposed to be like the avatar
of indecision?
No, of like people his age in his generation.
I see.
And I think it's actually really effective for that. But at this point, man, you've got to overcome it. It just won't be satisfying at all if he doesn't. I'm sure he will, but, you know, in the Mayuri ending, it did seem like he just did what Kurisu said. And what was it that she just said? Why can't you just do as I say? And in the Mayuri ending, he did. We talk a lot about the costs of not choosing Mayuri with the CERN taking over the world stuff. Mm-hmm. I think the reason that he doesn't care about it so much is because, like everything that happens in the future, especially when you're that age, it seems like all time that stretches before you is something like infinite. That you don't really understand the concept of consequences as concretely as you inevitably will. Him kind of being like, I don't really care about the future, is sort of his way of viewing the future as this nebulous concept that is so detached from his current reality. I mean, when you were 18, did you view what was going to happen within the next 30 years as anything other than this vague mist of non-meaningfulness?
I'd rather not talk about that, but yes.
Right, and so that's why I think that it is the way that it is.
And I won't lie that's probably why I'm so hard on him, because I'm like, no, don't do what I did at your age. Be better. Be better.
Me too. It's the same thing.
Like, I made some bad choices in my life, and it's just like, I want him to be better.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes me so mad.
I really feel the same way about that.
Because if I had someone being hard on me to make the better choices, I probably would have made them.
Yeah, yep, I'm in that same boat. I think that nebulousness is also part of why the rules of the universe as established in this game do not make sense and do not operate the way that anybody thinks they do. Because how could you possibly know the effect of any of your decisions that you make when you were this age? You may think you know how the world works. People have taught you, society has taught you how the world works. But you don't know if it actually works that way or not.
Right.
And I think that's like the milieu of non-comprehensibleness of the world lines.
Like they're vague on purpose?
And they are kind of inconsistent and kind of non-comprehensible.
That makes sense.
Because the future is vague and incomprehensible. Even if you think it's set in stone, it never is. Not because your own will change things. I mean, that's true, sure, but what I'm saying is that you don't know what's going to happen as a result of anything, even when people tell you that that's the way something is going to be. So it's like the only thing you actually know is the here and now. But is doing what seems right in the here and now the best thing to do, or is it to make a different decision? And isn't that what Kurisu and Okabe are arguing about in this scene? That's why I bring that up. So I think, like, altogether, as once we really had once I really got this grasp of what Steins Gate is and what the theme of the game and the reason it operates the way it does is, it was able to make me have far fewer frustrations with it, because I think this interpretation of it actually makes sense, actually works.
And it helps to explain a lot of the problems it has.
Yeah, it makes sense of them in a way that works in the context of the game. That's why I think that, like, it can't be this well constructed while being inconsistent unless it's on purpose. Not that type of inconsistency.
I gotcha.
The only way to make a lot of the happenings consistent is to invent or infer rules based on observation that may or may not even apply in other cases of the same things happening. Okay, isn't that what I was actually talking about?
Yeah.
Like, the content itself doesn't really explain it. You have to make your own rules and infer them. Since that's outside of the actual content, how can you actually assert that they're true? They might make sense, but you had to create something outside of the content to make sense of it.
Yeah. Like you had to come up with a fan theory or something for it to make sense.
And that's what I mean by inconsistencies.
Oh.
Now, having said all that, that's why this whole thing frustrates me right now. Because, I mean, are they just going to kick reason to the curb and be happy for a few years while we look on sadly? And especially now that we're in the fuck wars, apparently.
Excuse me?
Well, Christina is like, "You motherfucker!" And then it's going, and then Okabe is throwing it right back.
Just threw me for a second there with your terminology choice.
Anyway.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Who lives and who dies? Suzuha. Ferris. Dukako. I sacrificed their happiness to save Mayuri.
Exactly! And if you throw her away, then what was the point of all of that? All their happiness was thrown away so you could save Mayuri, and at this point you're balking? Is that not an emotional way to look at it? I mean, is that too logical? I'm sorry.
I mean, he didn't know at the time. And isn't that how it works? You have to make a lot of mistakes before you know what the right thing is.
Yeah, if he was going to choose Kurisu, Ferris's dad could still be alive. Luca could still be a girl. Suzuha...
Well, there's nothing
I'm not sure how well that would turn out,
There's
but...
nothing you can do about Suzuha, but...
Just...
It really is trampling on their sacrifices.
Trampling on their sacrifices and completely destroying all the effort and suffering he went through.
A major point in all those character chapters was that they made their decisions themselves. Even though Okarin was the one who was quote-unquote playing God and making the things happen, he didn't do anything that they didn't decide. And that's cruel, you know? I mean, I get that nothing's perfect. There is no perfect future, right?
That's baked into the cake.
Well, those are the thoughts that I have and the feelings that I have at this point. So let's see where it goes. And the whole time, a voice in the back of my head was asking...
At least as much as I can make out between the other two voices in the back of my head that kept bickering and judging me.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Is this really okay?
だから、俺は今度こそ
This time, I want to save both of them without sacrificing anyone. And that would be ideal. Do you know how to do that? Or are you going to work on it? Because if you just make the I choose Kurisu, Mayuri goes bleh, and everything ends where you've screwed everyone, that's just not acceptable to me.
I'm all for saving both of them. What you got?
Let's find out.
せ無理よ。いつもあんた言ってるでしょ。シュタインズゲートの選択ってやつ。回避不能。回は出てる。岡部一人がどれだけ頑張ったって世界の意志には勝てない。
それでも俺はもがいてやる。
I can respect that.
He's got all the time he needs. I won't lose Mayuri or Kurisu.
勝手にしろ。私は手伝わないからな。もうアメリカに帰るつもりだし。
Now, Kurisu's reaction is also very interesting, isn't it? I get that she's frustrated because A, she's in love with Okabe. Everybody knows this.
What are you talking about?
And B, she thinks that what he's doing is extremely illogical. But, I mean, she too just, like, acts on pure tsundere emotion.
Powered by a tsundere reactor.
Because her leaving is the worst thing for her to do right now. For her, this is running away. In the Mayuri ending, although on the one hand I'm frustrated that it took her beating Okabe on the head with a stick to get him to make the decision that he did, just like everyone else, she's the one who made the decision. Just like all of Okabe's friends before her, she made that decision. This time, she's not making any decision and is running away from the problem.
さよなら。もう二度と会うこともないわね。法王院京馬さん。
Ouch. The thing is, assuming he doesn't suddenly choose Mayuri now,
that would be a very confusing ending.
It would. If she leaves now, she's going to regret it for the rest of her life.
That's true.
Because she's the one who didn't come to a conclusion. She's the one who wasn't satisfied.
本当にバカだ。バカにも程がある。このバカ。
Is that a challenge, ma'am?
I'm sorry? Are you trying to say that Okabe can be even dumber than she thinks he is?
One should not underestimate Ho in Kyoma.
Now alone, I sigh into the darkness. Kurisu is absolutely right. I can't think of a single way to save them both, and yet I have to try. But this time, I won't have Kurisu's help. I have to fight the universe alone. How do I save both Kurisu and Mayuri? I can't use D-mail. Too much could go wrong.
That's an understatement.
And I might have to go on a chain of correcting several D-mails just to get back here. I don't want to make the same mistakes again. I've already done that. In the end, all I can do is time leap. Time leaping can't save Mayuri, but at least it can delay her death. Give me time to find a solution. If time is what I have, then I may as well use the time. On this world line, Mayuri dies at 7:30 on the night of August 17th. That's about 25 hours from now. My battle has no end in sight. How many times have I repeated these same 25 hours? Oh God, it's gonna be one of these where we just watch him leap, 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 leap.
Oh no.
I try everything I can possibly imagine.
And I'm here in the room filled with raining blood.
However, every plan fails. Mayuri dies. Again and again and again. Sometimes it's murder, sometimes an accident. But every time I leap, Mayuri dies. Maybe it really is impossible to resist fate. As long as I remain on this world line, Mayuri can't be saved. And yet, death, by the way.
Okay, I was really curious what that was.
I have grown desensitized to her death.
Oh, goody.
I've become numb to her death. After dozens of leaps, I finally realized what should have been obvious from the beginning. I never leap back more than 25 hours.
I was curious about that.
It's just like that time back in that one ending. I just stubbornly do things the way that seems natural to me over and over and over before I finally stop to realize I should make a better decision. Because continuously making poor decisions
isn't going to get you anywhere.
Is not effective. Well, the thing is, like I was talking about thematically, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't Okabe have to learn that he cannot make poor decisions?
Yeah,
how much of this is him making poor decisions?
A lot. That's why we yell at him.
Why am I so hung up on those 25 hours?
Probably because he doesn't want to erase that confrontation with Makise.
I could go back as far as August 11th, one whole week in the past. Yet I never do. Why? Because I know that even if I do, nothing will change.
Or that.
I don't believe that anything will change. Yeah, my reaction exactly.
Because it's always interesting what words they emphasize here, because they don't just emphasize them for no reason.
Mm-hmm. This really is important. It's not that anything will happen if you believe, but nothing is going to happen if you don't believe.
If you don't think something's going to work, it's not gonna work because you won't put in as much effort. You'll subconsciously hold yourself back. You can even go out on a limb and talk about metaphysical stuff, but we're not. Having a positive attitude improves the chance of something good happening, that kind of thing. But
remember, in the Mayuri ending, Kurisu wasn't sure if she believed the attractor field hypothesis.
Uh-huh. Now, she could have just been saying that as a way to ease Okarin's mind and be like, no, it's fine, but
that's true.
No real way of knowing for sure.
But, there's also, in the ending, Mayuri was like, and this person just keeps coming into my mind and is wishing me happiness. And I just think that that person is watching me. And in light of what Kurisu was saying, I just think it's interesting to compare that to this, regardless of the truth of any of it, which can't be known, which is the point. Every time Mayuri dies, I find myself thinking the same thing. Another failure. What caused it this time? Such logical analysis. I calmly analyze Mayuri's death, then take my data and head for the Time Leap machine with a sigh, like a gamer forced for the umpteenth time to restart a particularly difficult stage.
I know that mood. Oh no!
I'm just going through the motions. I didn't even realize until this moment how routine it had all become. No wonder I can't get any progress whatsoever. You don't achieve anything by being routine. Well, now that I have, my actions suddenly seem meaningless.
That's because they are.
I mean, it's like he was trying something that he knew wouldn't work.
From the beginning.
There's no way you can just deal with the individual aspects of her death. It's been maybe you could have you have the knowledge to know that's not going to work.
Empirical evidence you have observed multiple times.
Yeah. I can't take another step. And that's how I find myself here, in front of the Time Leap machine, staring at it for God knows how long. In the end, all I'm doing is...
逃げるの?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought she never wanted to see me again. Why is she here? Why wasn't she here before?
Well, she said she was leaving for America and never wanted to see him again.
Yeah, why didn't she... If she's coming back here, why didn't she come back any of those time leaps?
Maybe this is after a certain period of time when he didn't... I don't freaking know, man.
Maybe he just wasn't here those times, too.
タイムリープするのは逃げよ。
Now it's leaping away.
Good job there, Billy. Mount that token resistance. You don't have to tell me that. I already know. In the end, all I am doing is running away. Running away from responsibility. Running away from the decision. Running away from Steins Gate. If I'd have known I would have to make this choice, then I would have refused Suzuha when she entrusted me with her mission.
これまでもマユリを助けるためっていう大義名分でたくさんの人を俺は傷つけてきたんだ。しかもそのことで感じる罪の意識もだんだん鈍っていくんだ。
You don't feel anything anymore.
Yeah, you're just numb right now. If you look at yourself and you curse yourself for not feeling anything, you're fine.
Yeah.
Because you do feel something, or you feel like you ought to feel something. If there was really nothing there, you wouldn't feel that way. But you can, of course, be numb. Doesn't mean you have to like it. I'm just saying, if you keep thinking to yourself, is this a problem? Is this a problem? Is this a problem? Is this a problem?
You're fine.
You're taking it seriously.
人としてのまともな感覚が失われていくんだ。
To be clear, like what I mean by that is, it's when you don't think you're doing anything wrong that you're actually making the mistake.
Right.
Like if you do something and then later on you think, was I a jerk? Like maybe what you did was wrong, but you're not a jerk, or you wouldn't be worried that you are.
Yeah, you would just be like, nah, whatever.
Or they had it coming, or something like that.
だったらなんで今あんたは迷ってる？
タイムリープマシンっていう保険が効かないからかもな。俺はこのマシンを使いこなしてなんていなくて振り回されているだけなのかも。
逃げたって苦しくなるだけ。私がそうだから。
Oh, yeah?
Thinking about a couple things related to yourself there, huh? Is Kurisu running too? From what?
Her dad!
What's that, Billy?
Her father! Her sire. Her paternal figure. Her papa. Her pops. Mr. Peppy! Mr. Makise!
Is there something you're getting at, Billy?
I figured it would be a parent.
It is the will of causality that I die here, having been stabbed in the heart from that, the most terrible of puns. And the worst part is, I asked for it.
今の岡部見てられない。自分の顔鏡で見た。急に老けたように見える。
Now he looks like he's 40 instead of 30. I couldn't help it.
心がボロボロになってるんじゃない？そこまで思い悩まずに、私の言うことを素直に受け入れればいいんだ。さっき言った通り、あんたはここにとどまっちゃいけない。ベータ世界線に行きなさい。マユリが死なない世界へ。それがあんたのためでもあるし、私のためでもある。
Interesting how Makise's ending seems to end with her dying. Or, them going to the Beta World line and her dying on the Beta World line anyway. It's not what I was expecting.
For her sake, too, huh?
So she doesn't have to see him in this state?
I just wonder if she's projecting her own feelings onto him. Like if she's blaming herself for doing things that are unforgivable, and so is then blaming him for acting like he's blaming himself for doing something unforgivable.
Well, there is a lot of projection going on in this game, and she does do a lot of it.
Like, takes out her frustrations with herself on him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, she's right. I have no other options left. No more D-mails. No more time leaps. There's no perfect world where both Kurisu and Mayuri live, no matter how much I want there to be. As long as I stay on this world line, that is. It's not the whole word, but it's alpha world line is what's up there.
Well, I recognize the alpha symbol.
I'm just verifying that the other stuff is what you thought it was.
Okay.
Mayuri will die. And I bet you can guess what that says.
Candelabra, person, two people holding hands.
Wow, that does look like a person. That was like maybe one of the first 50 kanji that I learned how to read, and I never thought it looked like a person.
Did I blow your mind?
My only thing is, I can see how it's one person holding the hand of something else, but that other one is not a person. Somebody with a squiggle for a head. Actually, the way that I remember a lot of the parts of the different kanji, I'd say radical, but that may not actually be the correct term. The way that I remember a lot of them is the little box, which is different from the box, which is different from the boxy box.
Okay, the boxy box, I gotcha.
Yeah, see, that's a box, and that's a little box.
Ah.
I mean, really, when I look at that little box, see, the one on the person is the box.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I understand.
I'll let you know when a boxy box shows up.
I look forward to it. Let's move on.
And if
Before I box you.
And if I go to the beta world line, Kurisu will die. We'll never be able to talk like this again.
ちょっと勝手に殺さないでくれますか？私ピンピンしてますんで。例えば実際に皆さんが体ごと過去や未来へ行くことができるようなタイムマシンを作るにはまず何が必要か考えてみましょう。誰がクリスティーナだ？一言も言ったらんわ。これまでの自分を否定したくないの。たとえ失敗ばかりだったとしてもそれを含めて今の自分があるんだから。私たちひょっとするととんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない。
Close microwave door. Beep, beep, beep. Now that we've overcome one obstacle, let's move on.
前にあんた言ってくれたでしょ。私のこと大切な仲間だって。あれ結構嬉しかったっていうか。じゃあ電話レンジの改良が終わったら一緒についてきて。あんたの力になりたい。ありがとう。私のためにそこまで苦しんでくれて。
From the very beginning, I was attracted to her radiant confidence. I found myself mesmerized by her every gesture, especially that one where she points at the screen defiantly, hanging on to her every word. I listened enraptured whenever she presented her latest theory. At the end of the day, the reason I never called her by her name was because I was too embarrassed. I admired her. I longed for her. And I didn't want to admit it to myself. Only now do I realize the truth. I love her. To me, Kurisu is far more than that. And yet, I have no choice but to tell her that there's nothing I can do.
俺はお前を助 けられない。すまない。なんでよりによってクリスなんだって思う。くそ。
I know that this is on the way to the true end.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't that make sense? Perhaps some of the stuff that happens in the Mayuri ending, like we thought a lot of it was kind of abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that's because...
Right, because this is kind of important too and like put together.
Yeah, there were a lot of things about the Mayuri ending that I did like, but I do feel like she kind of got the short shrift. Silent.
Not from us.
Silent? Us? When? Never. Nothing moves. Is this what it's like to be the only person left in the whole world?
ねえ岡部、あんたがベータ世界線に行ったら、こうして仲間として一緒に過ごした記憶はマユリや橋田からは消えちゃうのよね。
For the most part, you know, reading Steiner, everyone has it to some degree, maybe.
岡部は私のこと覚えててくれる？
Yeah, and that's what makes it worse. That he will remember.
Arg, the face.
お前のことは絶対に忘れない。誰よりも大切な女のことを忘れたりしない。
え、それって何バカなこと言ってんのよ。
Blah, 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 the usual script.
事実だ。
It's like she's a card-carrying member of the Tsundere Society.
Not only is she a client, she's the president.
I think that commercial was supposed to go the other way around, but...
Shh.
Their bylaws must require them to say certain things, and maybe even a minimum amount of bakas per interaction.
Gotta fill the quota.
それは証明が必要。それがないと私は方程式を用意できない。
Kiss her!
ACTH の分泌過剰になり、ガンマ波から確率共鳴が起きてヒルベルト曲線のハウストルフ次元は無限大と仮定されるわけだから、つまり全近線はポジトロン断層法で計測して。
What are you talking about, woman?
Didn't Okabe do the same thing back in the Luca chapter?
ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone secreted in response to stress. I like that it's the number 2 tip.
Well, it is AC, so there couldn't be very many things in front of it. About, I'm gonna wager one thing.
Don't you bring your logic into this.
クリス、俺はお前が好きだ。
How's that for proof?
お前は
言いますと、
お前は俺のことどう思ってる？
I'll tell you what, this is one way to unnumb your heart.
知りたいのか？
Every time.
目を閉じろ。
I just feel like I gotta contribute the same thing, you know?
なぜ目を？
Why do you think?
Yes.
いいから閉じなさいよ。
Just give her a minute. She's gotta find a stool because you're like 2 feet taller than her. Will you cut it out?
I do as I told. I do as I'm told, though I still don't know why she's so angry.
Soon.
Ah, I see! She's grabbing him by the lab coat and pulling him down! The faint scent of citrus tickles my nose. Her lips are very warm. My mind goes blank.
I just don't understand why she can't just tell me how she feels.
I'm unable to think. I want to stay like this forever.
別にしたくてしたんじゃないから。
Yeah, it's fine. We understand. Let's just take that off the docket.
Card-carrying member.
ただ、さっき約束したでしょ。私のこと忘れないでって。より強烈な感情とともに海馬に記名されたエピソード記憶は忘却されにくいのよ。
Also, practical experience tells you that too.
それに岡部は変態童貞だから、ファーストキスのことについて聖地化リハーサルが行われるはずで、それはすぐに長期記憶になってそうそう忘れないかって思って。それで
Just stop. Just stop.
Do you remember what I was saying about Kurisu projecting her feelings onto Okabe?
That's a pretty direct projection. Elaborative rehearsal. In psychology, the act of transferring short-term memory to long-term memory. This is done by attaching meaning to the matter to be remembered, or by relating the matter to some other familiar memory.
I suppose if you never seek meaning, you don't remember anything.
どうしても岡部にだけは私のこと忘れてほしくなかったから。
Well, you know what would help with that, Maki-san?
We ain't talking about any more elaborative rehearsals. I want to be with her even more. I want to talk with her even more. I want to learn even more about her.
残念だったな。俺はこれがファーストキスではない。
生意気な童貞のくせに。
うるさい、少女。
Ah! With Moeka!
そうか。あんたは初めてじゃなかったのね。
Couldn't you have just let her think that? Come on!
What's wrong, the zombie? You jealous? Disappointed?
そうだ。だから今のは
Ah.
印象としては弱い。長期記憶にはならないかもしれない。
This is dirty. So what he's saying is, so why don't you try harder and let's do it again. Maybe I'll remember that one. I'm lying, of course. I've never felt such an intense kiss as that.
だからもう一度だ。
But I'm a horny teenager.
Clearly.
絶対に忘れたくないから。
One thing that I really do like about this,
念には念を入れる。
it's really natural.
それならしょうがないな。
And so we made out for 10 hours straight.
キスだけだぞ。
What's she worried I'll do?
What is she hoping I'll do?
その優しくして。
Hey Damon, how's it going? As we sit here in front of the screen with two teenagers about to make out.
Now is the time for me to go into silent mode.
岡部。
Does that mean you'll vibrate if you need to tell me something? Oh, hey, Damon's trying to tell me something. What's up, buddy?
Shut up!
忘れないで。
Stronger than the first time. Longer than the first time. Shut up, Billy.
I was gonna say something too.
I never want to let go. We feel each other's... Okay, alright.
Uncomfortable.
We feel each other's breath. We feel each other's scent.
Maybe you should take a shower.
We feel each other's taste.
時間が
Doesn't this feel like you're watching something private?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
あっ
Like,
という間に過ぎていく。
like really uncomfortable.
I mean, it's a nice climax, but...
Don't use that word.
今だけはアインシュタインに文句を言いたい気分。時間は絶対的じゃない。アインシュタインは時間が人や状況によって長くなったり短くなったりするものなんだって科学的に証明した。
Christina? Shut up.
ねえ、岡部。
Now, to be fair, if there was anyone who would be into that sort of thing, it'd be Okabe.
Oh, Einstein. No, this is a really good scene. It's really natural. The fact that it's actually so natural is one of the reasons that we're kind of like...
Yes.
Not because there's a problem with the scene.
Oh, no, the scene's great!
This is really good. It's that... How do you want us to react?
Don't answer that.
相対性理論ってとてもロマンチックで
E equals MC squared.
切ないものだね。
How does Kurisu feel about me?
I don't know!
In the end, she never really answered my question.
What's wrong with you? She clearly answered your question!
Okay, well, maybe we better just stop. No, again, that was really good, and it was really moving. Like, the level of naturalness to it really did surpass a lot of his interactions with Mayuri. It's really sad that, hostage or not, it seemed to be more one way.
Yeah.
Really kind of gets my goat, actually. I'm sorry, it's just some silly old man phrase for... is frustrating. But inevitably something like this happens in games where there's multiple people you can choose and they choose or stories, and they choose the one that you don't want. I mean, not that I have a problem with Kurisu, but...
Right? It just seems the Mayuri Okabe one is way more natural.
But it has turned out that that's not the case.
Right?
So again, that was a really good scene, but look.
Oh, we're done here.
We're two hairy old guys sitting next to each other on a couch in a room with the air conditioner turned off. It's summer, it's very hot outside, and so it's very hot and steamy in here while we're watching two teenagers kiss in a video game. What kind of reaction do you honestly expect that we're going to have? Har, 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 har. See you later.